Hey guys, the 8th and final season of Game of Thrones premieres on April 14th. We don't know many details, or should I say spoilers about it, as Game of Thrones secured extremely heightened during filming for final season, but at least we know some. In one of my recent videos I brought you all the major leaks and spoilers that have been 100% confirmed to happen in the final season of Game of Thrones. Epic battle for Winterfell in episode 3, the Night King wins, Winterfell is on fire, many die, Ghost is back, Jon Snow goes back to the capital, parleys with Queen Cersei in episode 4, and King's Landing is burned down. These are the 4 major events that are confirmed to happen, so if you haven't seen those yet, make sure to do so. In this video on the other hand, I'm bringing you 4 more confirmed leaks and spoilers about the 8th season, and even though this might not be major events, these are nonetheless quite important. Let's start with the series of reunions that will take place at Winterfell in the season 8 premiere. Jon Snow and Dany with their entire crews are currently heading north to prepare for the Great War that is coming even sooner than expected. They are sailing towards White Harbor, the main seaport of the north, with the Unsullied. Once they arrive over there, they will meet the Trekkie on the King's Road, and then ride together to Winterfell. Of course, all of this will take place off-screen, and we'll only see all of them together approaching Winterfell in the very beginning of the first episode. Once Jon arrives at Winterfell, we'll have a heartbreaking reunion with his family, with Sansa, Arya and Bran, as well as with his friend Sam and his direwolf Ghost. In fact, it's been confirmed that the opening scene will see the arrival of Jon and Dany with their crews at Winterfell, which is said to be similar to King Robert's arrival in the series premiere. This episode will be an episode full of reunions, so if you've been waiting for Jon to reunite with Arya, or for Arya to reunite with the Hound, or for almost the entire Game of Thrones crew to be together at the same place, good news is, we'll finally get it in the very episode of the final season. Beside many reunions, premiere will also feature many tense first meetings between characters. Sansa is said not to be thrilled that Jon bent the knee to Dany. But back to reunions, and right away onto the most important reunion, the one between Jon and Arya. We have been waiting to see a reunion between those two since the very first season. We had been hoping for Jon-Arya reunion in season 7, but the two had just missed each other. However, it's finally happening in the season 8 premiere. Jon loves and cares for all his siblings, but Jon and Arya have a unique bond. Jon and Arya were very close growing up. It was Jon who secretly had needle forged for Arya, encouraging her to become who she always wanted to be, not the lady that Westerosi custom demanded. In fact, those two were so close that in George R. R. Martin's original outline, he had them marked as lovers. It's only fitting for them to see each other again before the Great War begins, and they will. While it's easy to say that Jon will be proud, but also blown away by how much Arya has grown as a fighter, it's also safe to say that Arya, unlike Sansa, will support Jon's decision of bending the knee to the Dragon Queen. In fact, I think that Dany and Arya will get along very well, considering how Dany likes strong women, and Arya on the other hand also admires strong women, but admires dragons as well. The next confirmed spoiler takes place an episode after. It was revealed that episode 2 will see the return of the crypts of Winterfell, which was being filmed on its long-standing location, at Shane's castle. It was also reported there will be a scene between 2 leading cast members in the crypts, and they will be discussing Ned Stark's death in this particular scene. So it's basically something similar to what we have already seen in season 7, when Sansa and Arya discuss Ned's death as well as his statue. My guess is that this time it will be Jon and Dany discussing it. Anyways, the scene is also said to end when they hear a horn being blown. As you know, in the Night's Watch, a horn is blown to warn of someone approaching, either rangers returning, wildlings at the gates, or White Walkers. We're not sure what the horn means in this scene, but there's definitely someone approaching Winterfell, either reinforcements or White Walkers. Another leak gives us new characters that we'll see in season 8, and the most prominent one includes Mark Rissman as Golden Company Commander Harry Strickland. Fans who read The Dance with Dragons may recognize the name of Homeland's Harry Strickland, the commander of the Golden Company. In the season finale, Cersei revealed to Jaime that Tyrion Greyjoy only pretended to be heading back to Pike when he had actually sailed to Essos to hire the Golden Company, and to bring them with his Iron Fleet to Westeros to serve under her commands. This is not coming as a huge surprise, since in the 4th episode of the season, Cersei revealed her intentions to take out a new loan from the Iron Bank to hire the Golden Company to expand their armies. This Sellsword Company is one of the largest and most skilled mercenary organizations, consisting of 20,000 infantry, cavalry and war elephants. With their help, Cersei will take the advantage of the war between the living and the dead, and will try to retrieve some things that, as she said, belong to her. Those things, as Cersei also revealed herself, include the lands, the kingdoms that are currently taken away from her. While the Golden Company's arrival at the capital in the very beginning of season 8 is not coming as a huge surprise, or surprise at all, this new character on the other hand is. Many thought there would be no room in season 8 for more characters from George R. R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire novels, and many theorized that it would be Dario Naharis leading the Golden Company, but we were wrong. We'll get a new character, Harry Strickland. In the book, Strickland is the current Captain General of the Golden Company, and Lord of the exiled House Strickland from Westeros. House Strickland have been core members of the Golden Company for 4 generations, to its founding in the aftermath of the Blackfire Rebellion, when surviving Blackfire supporters fled into exile in the Free Cities. Among them was Harry's great-grandfather. Harry was born in exile and raised to serve in the Golden Company, as were his father and grandfather before him, making him a fourth-generation member of the Sellsword Company, which may explain why he rose to such a high rank despite his lack of martial prowess. He is not considered a very brave man, and many of his own captains think he is a coward. In many ways, he is just a puppet for the true leader of the Golden Company, one of his lieutenants called Griff. We'll see how much of that characterization will make it to screen. The next spoiler is Rhaegar Targaryen's reappearance at some point of the final season. Game of Thrones has a lot of characters, and with only 6 episodes left that might not be enough to spotlight all of them. For example, Edmure Tully and Mira Reed are confirmed not to appear in Season 8, however Rhaegar Targaryen will come back. Wilf Scolding, who played Rhaegar Targaryen, Dany's brother and Jon's father in a flashback sequence in the Season 7 finale, uploaded and then deleted a picture of himself outside the Europa Hotel in Belfast during the filming of the final season. The world created by George R. Martin is large and takes place in many different climates and environments. As such, Game of Thrones has filming locations all over the world, but the principal location for filming the series is Northern Ireland, Belfast. This is where many interior sets are shot as well as the majority of exterior shots. Long story short, if the Game of Thrones actor, in this case an actor that portrays Rhaegar, is staying in Belfast, it means that he will appear in the upcoming season as he is shooting some scenes in Belfast. Also, the fact that other Game of Thrones actors are in the same hotel while shooting is suggesting that Rhaegar Targaryen is most certainly coming back for the final season. Now, what does this mean? It probably means we'll get more Rhaegar Targaryen flashbacks, although if you're into some tinfoil theories such as Rhaegar being alive or being someone else, there's scope for that as well. All we can say for certain is that Rhaegar is back, but it'll be most likely in a flashback. After all, George R. R. Martin said we will learn and see all the important events that happened during Robert's Rebellion, and that's why there will not be the Robert's Rebellion prequel. George R. R. Martin and company stated that even though they are currently working on Game of Thrones prequels, the Robert's Rebellion is most definitely not one of them. George explained that by the time Song of Ice and Fire and by the time Game of Thrones show is over, we'll know every important thing and we'll learn all secrets about what happened during the rebellion. He then finishes by saying it will feel too much like a twice-told tale. This basically means we'll get more Rhaegar Lyanna and maybe even Rhaegar Robert flashbacks. In the Season 7 finale, Bran, upon being told that Jon is not a bastard, but rather a legitimate son of Lyanna and Rhaegar Targaryen, he uses green sight and witnesses the secret wedding for himself. This flashback is without a doubt the most important flashback we've seen thus far. As Bran explained to Sam, it revealed that Robert's Rebellion was in fact built on a lie. Rhaegar did not kidnap Lyanna, she loved him and he loved her. Their secret marriage also means that Jon Snow is Rhaegar's lawful son and the rightful heir to the Iron Throne, ahead of Rhaegar's younger sister Dany. So which flashback can we expect to see in the final season? A few flashbacks that will finally show us how Rhaegar and Lyanna fell in love, and why did they decide to run away without leaving a note to their families. I would like to see Rhaegar in Bran's flashback of Attorney at Harrenhal, which I'm almost sure we will, since I'm expecting from the showrunners to explain to us how Jon's parents fell in love and why they decided to run away. I'm expecting for them to explain to us what was that important for Lyanna and Rhaegar to leave without an explanation, to put the Seven Kingdoms into a state of chaos to start a rebellion. Prophecy perhaps. Many believe that the entire tourney was in fact organized by Crown Prince Rhaegar Targaryen to gather the great lords of Westeros and address the madness of his father, King Aerys II Targaryen, and to remove him from the Iron Throne. In more simple words, the great tourney at Harrenhal is very tall started. Rhaegar Lyanna met, Prince Rhaegar was champion of the joust, and in the end he chose Lyanna Stark as the new Queen of Love and Beauty, placing a crown of blue winter roses in her lap. This was very scandalous in that not only was Rhaegar already married to Elia of Dorne, who was present at the tourney, but Lyanna herself was betrothed to Robert Baratheon, who was also present at the tourney. It's basically where it all started. Beside Martin's statement, there are a few more clues that are making the great tourney at Harrenhal flashbacks even more likely to come true. Just take a look on this shot published on official Game of Thrones YouTube channel. It's been out for 2 years or so and it's basically in a production tease. If you look closely on this shot, you'll notice a yellow shield with black bats all over it. That heraldry that consists of 9 black bats over a gold field is of House Vent, the very same house that hosted the great tourney at Harrenhal. Taking into account that this shield has not yet appeared and knowing that there is only 1 season left, it's got to appear in the final season. And no, it's not possible for a soldier to hold it in the current timeline, because House Vent is extinct and therefore it can only appear in a flashback. Anyways, with Rhaegar being back for Season 8, I think it's safe to say that we can expect a flashback or 2 at the great tourney at Harrenhal. That was the beginning of a doomed love between kind and noble Rhaegar and beautiful and brave Lyanna. Of course, a flashback of a fight between Rhaegar and Robert would also be great, but with only 6 episodes left, is it really that important to the story? Except if there's a major twist regarding that battle, say it wasn't Rhaegar but someone else under his armor that died instead of Rhaegar, or someone glamored himself to appear as Rhaegar using rubies, I don't see why else would we need to see that fight. Yes, I would love to see it, yes, it would be epic, but unless it brings something to the story, I don't think we'll see it. In conclusion, there are 4 main confirmed events. Number 1, a series of reunions at Winterfell. Number 2, a scene between 2 leading cast members in crypts. Discussing Ned Stark's death, the scene ends with a horn being blown. Number 3, a new character, the most prominent one, a Golden Company commander, Harry Strickland. Number 4, Rhaegar is back, whether in a flashback or the current timeline remains unknown. These 4 main events, beside 4 major events that I brought you a couple of days ago, are pretty much all the confirmed events regarding the final season. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to subscribe to our channel, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.